The great Warren Buffett once said, "Be fearful when others are greedy, but be greedy when others are fearful." This video is going to discuss the current state of the Yu-Gi-Oh market, which, surprising to nobody, has gone down quite substantially. What's going to happen in the future? I'm going to give my prediction. I'm going to give my analysis of the current market. What's a great buy? What's a great hold? What might be a mixture of both? Again, this is not financial advice. This is not any sort of financial advertisement or advice. It's up to you to make your own sound, logical, informed decisions. But let's, without further ado, get into it.
In a world full of Yu-Gi-Oh cards, grading, selling, buying, one card game remains supreme. One man has the insights you need to know. Watch and subscribe now. YugiohTube.
What's up, YouTube? YugiohTube here. And it's no surprise in that the Yu-Gi-Oh market has fallen. It is a little bit more of a surprise to me that the Yu-Gi-Oh market has fallen by 30+%. Big drops, massive falls, and folks who were buying at the height of the pandemic got absolutely slaughtered. Those folks buying Metal Raiders, Gate Guardian at 4,000, buying Time Wizard 3,000, Black Skull Dragon 3 grand, 4 grand, LOB Supers down in some cases more than 50%. Some LOB Supers at some point $2,000, $3,000, especially for wavy varieties. Now down, some of them, to about $1 grand or less. And LOB boxes, Legend of Blue Eyes, White Dragon boxes, the quote, blue chip investment in Yu-Gi-Oh! Down substantially. All-time highs at some point, 30K plus. Now we're seeing 15 to 20K at the max. Sometimes a little more, sometimes a little less. And as a whole, the Yu-Gi-Oh market has suffered drastically. It was kind of a delayed reaction when we saw Pokemon and base set Pokemon explosions with the whole Logan Paul, with the whole other nonsense you saw online, and the investors saying this is a great investment and it causes the fear and the FOMO and the fear of missing out of the market. But ultimately, the demand did not comply with the supply, and the supply outweighed the demand, and what happened? The prices absolutely tanked. The Gary V hype. The Gary V hype. You know, everything is a can't miss, right? During that pandemic, you buy anything in 2020, 2021, you made a lot of money. A ton of money. You could literally buy the dog poop sitting in your trash can and resell it and make 300%. It was impossible during the pandemic to lose money when you were investing in this market sector. Whether it be TCGs, collectibles, NFTs, cryptocurrency, whether it be a variety of these outlets, there really was no losing scenario, and everything was fantastic. But as someone thinking rationally, okay, for those who thought that this would continue, it is literally impossible to infinitely see massive exponential gains. And if you expect that, and if you expected that, then I guess take this as a hard lesson. We are seeing major drops in the Yu-Gi-Oh market, in the Pokemon market, in the financial market, in the stock market. We are seeing absolutely massive drops all across the board. The cryptocurrency blockchain, that's way down. Everything is down. So in some ways, you think about it, right? You think about all this, and you couldn't lose, you know, in 2020 and 2021, and now you can't win. You can't win. Anything you buy, it seems at this point, is going to drop in value. But I think, and again, this is not financial advice, it's up to you to make your own sound decisions, but this is just a man giving his opinion on the internet, on a YouTube video. But I think, personally, that this is opportunity. This is a great opportunity to finally secure some of those cards that you've been waiting to purchase. Maybe they were out of your price range. And I think long-term, 5, 10, 15, 20 years, you'll look at these prices and look at these massive drops and say, wow, you know, what a wasted opportunity that was, that I didn't go and buy that Gate Guardian, that I didn't go and buy that LOB Holy Grail First Edition box. That DDS Blue Eyes at one point was 15 grand, down to 10, down 30%. There are so many examples in which you could look at these cards and say, man, what a missed opportunity. So now, if you have the cash, it might be a good idea to look into, hey, I'm going to buy this dip. And I'm not one to say buy the dip, you know, buy when it goes up, buy when it goes down. Now, I'm not one to ever predict, okay, we can predict the market. The market's going to go down because X, Y, Z. Nobody can do that. Nobody will do that. Nobody will ever be accurate. Because if someone were accurate and someone could read into the future to know how financial markets are going to fluctuate up and down, they would have a line going across the country to try and see and pick the brain of this person. It just doesn't happen. Okay? So what I'm saying here is there a chance that the markets will continue to go down and will go into a recession, even depression type scenario, 2008 all over again? Maybe. Which would then drop these prices of cards even lower, right? Even lower. And so now you might say, well, wait, I don't want to buy into the cards now because I think they'll go lower. I mean, that's fine. If that's your opinion, that's fine. You know, and then if you were to buy into the cards now, and let's say they kept dropping, then you're going to be annoyed and say, this is ridiculous. I could have saved another $500 on this card. I could have saved a few grand on this card. If I had just waited, then it would be a lot better scenario for me financially. But again, you can't predict this stuff. All I could say now, and all we could all guarantee now, is that the prices of Yu-Gi-Oh cards are significantly lower than they were 1 to 2 years ago. That is a fact. That is a certainty. In a world full of uncertainty, we have significant factual evidence that these cards have significantly dropped. Will they keep dropping? We don't know. Will they go back up? We don't know. But we know for a fact that you are buying what you're buying now. You're buying at a significant discount than what you were buying at in 2020 and 2021. Whether that discount gets even more diluted and you could have gotten even a better deal remains to be seen. Whether that discount is the bottom remains to be seen as well. But what you can guarantee yourself is that you bought these cards at a significantly lower price than you could have had them 1 to 2 years ago. Now, am I saying that the cards are the best buy right now? No, I think in this type of scenario, obviously, you need to make sure you don't over-leverage yourself. But what I am saying is 5 to 10 years from now, that LOB box that's dropped and dipped, that, folks, is my alarm clock. Pretty rough. Pretty rough. What I will say is that the dips that we're seeing create opportunity. They create opportunity. And you look at PSA's grading prices. You look at the backlog. I think the backlog will clear up. You look at the grading prices. Let's say bulk goes up to $25, $30 a card for bulk. You know, at some point, first of all, people are not going to take those losses. The people who, first of all, bought in during COVID, or during the pandemic, I should say, they are not incentivized to sell at massive losses, which means they're probably going to hold on to their cards until they eventually recover and bounce back. Not all of them. Some people just bought high and sold low, which is the opposite of what you should be doing when you're investing. But I think a lot of people are not going to want to take those massive hits and massive losses. Okay? Number two, PSA's grading prices have increased. So now the cost to grade cards has gone up significantly. So nobody's going to want to sell a card that it costs so much to grade, especially with upcharges. There's not a lot of incentive to sell the card at, oh, wow, I made 20% on this one. I think people are going to be smarter than that and say, oh, I see that it's not easy to get 10s. It's now more expensive to grade the cards. Even if I wanted to submit it 2 to 3 times, now you're saying hundreds of dollars in grading fees. Okay, and just to get the 10 potentially, and if you don't, you're out a lot of money. So I think those margins now, because of the higher grading fees, the margins are going to be quite cut at this current time, which to me creates opportunity. If there's a PSA 10 of a card for $50, right, and it costs $30 to grade it, I mean, what do you have to lose at these current prices? Not much. Not much at all. So I think long-term, the long-term prospect, we're seeing these dips, creates long-term opportunity. What do you guys think? I think sealed product also is never really gone down, aside from the LOB boxes and the MRD boxes. They've taken a hit, but as a whole, sealed product, pretty solid. Pretty darn solid. What do you think? Comment down below. Give it a thumbs up, like, subscribe, hit the bell button. Until next time, YugiohTube signing out.